We're going to kill him. We're not here to arrest him. These were the exact allegation of the witness, Gregory Loftus, at the Madlanga Commission. Loftus claims police weren't planning to arrest Bevan Loftus. He says they allegedly told him, "We're going to kill him. We're not here to arrest him." And it gets even darker. Loftus claims he heard an officer say that if Bevan was found, shoot him where he lies. But then came the explosive allegation. Loftus told the commission he believes a clique within the task team was executing contracts, allegedly using police operations to carry out targeted killings. So the question is now, was Bevan killed during a legitimate police operation, or was he allegedly targeted for execution? Was Gregory Loftus telling the truth about what happened to his son, or are there still major pieces of this story missing? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like this video, subscribe, and share. The Madlanga Commission now has to find the truth. Watch the full testimony and tell us what you think. Gregory Loftus, roll the clip.
However, I have come to know that two of the suspects are now deceased. The SAPS police dockets that refer to these incidents are Sipingo Case 14 of 9/2022, and the investigating officer at the time was Detective Bengu, and there was another case open.
Sorry, Mr. Loftus, please don't read out the case numbers.
Okay, sorry about that. In another incident, one of Bevan's drivers, Brenton Capture, was at a shop in Wentworth and was shot at but managed to flee unarmed. A while later, the same driver's father was seated on his veranda with his son and was killed in a drive-by shooting. The incidents were registered under the Wentworth case. A friend of Bevan, a friend of Bevan and his wife were shot in Tiflin Road in Wentworth while he was taking his wife to work. His wife was injured and he was hospitalized for a few months due to the severity of the injuries. He is now in rehabilitation to assist him to walk again. This shooting incident is also registered at the Wentworth Police Station. In another incident, one of Bevan's ex-drivers, Denzel De Silva, was shot while awaiting his food order in Wentworth. He survived the shooting incident. A colored male by the name of Deon Ismail Wood was arrested for the shooting and is currently in Westwell Prison. A police docket that refers to this case is a Wentworth case. I now turn to the events leading to the murder of Bevan and his friends. The allegations against Bevan. There are allegations that Bevan was involved in drugs or killing people. I deny that. As far as I know, he lived from income received from his towing and taxi business. He did not live a flamboyant life and lived modestly. Have been in the service, I would have had some idea if Bevan was involved in drugs or in the killing of people. I vehemently dispute those allegations.
Mr. Loftus, just go back to paragraph 57.
Yes.
The second last sentence where you say Captain Dina Govender and Warrant Officer Naidu. They could not have both said that. Surely it must have been one of them.
Okay, let me clarify that. They did not say it both together. It wasn't a one-off statement that they made. These guys overtalk one another. And they were in an aggressive manner. It was like anger in them. So they both said it, but not at the same time. It's like the one was repeating the other. They said it on numerous occasions. So it wasn't just clearly we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do that together.
But who said to you, you must get Bevan's funeral policy up to date because I'm going to bury him?
They both said it. Dina Governor said it first, and one of the Naidu, he repeated it. Yeah, but as I say, it wasn't said once, it was on a number of occasions. They speak fast and they don't stop talking.
And again, why did you not open a case? Because now they're making a direct threat.
I didn't believe that the case would be accepted and that anything would become of it. Because I can say why, I can elaborate, because my wife, my daughter-in-law, both daughter-in-laws went to the police station and they tried to open cases at Brighton Beach. And there was a captain on duty there and he refused to accept the charge. They ended up going to the attorney who took them to IPID. And IPID referred them to Point Road Police Station, and I'm not sure where they eventually opened the case. It was a rigmarole. Nobody wanted to open the case. And this is not an uncommon practice. I've witnessed this before. So people lose interest. So people lose interest and faith in the police.
Just when you say the wife and daughters tried to open a case,
yes.
Was it in relation to the same incident or a different?
No. It's a different incident.
And what was that incident about?
My daughter-in-law, Bevan's wife, she opened a case of theft of items and cash from the house.
But was it against the police? Because
yes, it was against the police. There were cases eventually registered at Brighton Beach. I know my daughter-in-law that runs the crash, her case docket is at IPID. Eckhard, as I said, he was one of the workers of Bevan. He was a driver and a runaround. He opened a case of assault. I was witness to that statement being taken by an IPID policeman in my house. That case is still with IPID. I had opportunity to speak to, in fact, Eckhart phoned me last night. I hadn't spoken to him or seen him in over a year. And I asked him what was the progress on the case. Nobody ever contacted him.
Okay, and then back to paragraph 57. Do you mention this incident in your affidavit?
Yes, I did.
This specific one?
Yes.
And the threat by
yes.
Captain Governor?
Yes, I did. Just to go on with that, to complete that, my wife was eventually called to the police station to depose a statement. And the statement was taken by a should I not say the name? Was taken by a female captain. But I found it strange that while I was sitting there, she wasn't really interested in what my wife was saying. She started taking a statement from me as to what took place. Then I realized what she's doing. Then one of the policemen whispered in my ear to say, no, she works within the government. I shouldn't be talking to her. Those matters, I think there were 4 cases. Besides the cases at IPID, the cases that were opened at Brighton Beach are filed as undetected and false. Hendrik Nunez's wife also opened a case. I don't know what the charge was. That case is filed as false. Coincidentally, the cases were filed.
Mr. Loftus,
yes.
I'm going to stop you because you have to be careful in this commission when you mention people's names and you make allegations against them. We will have to call them to provide their version. So maybe stick to the question I asked so that we limit ourselves.
Okay, Commissioner.
If you end up mentioning 15 people,
okay, I acknowledge
we will
that.
have to give them the opportunity to come and give their side of the story. So let's limit ourselves to the question I asked and only the answer to that question.
Point taken.
Thank you.
Was the shooting of Alan supposed to have taken place at Bluff Butchery?
Was the shooting of who, Commissioner? I didn't hear that.
Alan.
No. That was in Durban Central somewhere.
Oh, all right. Where you told was supposed to have been shot at Bluff Butchery?
That Bluff Butchery shooting, the alleged Bluff shooting, was supposed to have been Bevan shooting at the police.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Just to follow up on what Commissioner of 3 months. So or 2 months, let's say we give that period.
Are you referring to the phone call, the time factor between the phone call and...
The phone call.
The phone call...
And remember, it's the phone call, and shortly thereafter, you then have this operation on the 3rd of February.
Yes, the phone call, if I can recall correctly, was in January.
Yes.
Late January. I think it's about the 25th or so.
Correct. I'm trying to just wait for me. In that period, you say you didn't find it prudent to make any action, for example, to take any action rather against what you now see on the 3rd of February. Let's say on your theory, you now see that, look, there are police coming in, they are threatening about updating a policy and all of this. Now, don't you see it prudent to, in any event, register a case and then complain to IPID? Or take even the court application earlier?
That's a good point, but as I said, with the history that has been happening with Bevan over time, being harassed by some of the Brighton Beach detectives, because they ultimately end up with it. And there's certain members in the charge office as well that would not take cases. So we reached a point where I was like, it's futile to even try. That's why we went the court way. Yeah.
That aspect. Now, there's an issue, or at least the narrative, that Dina was put up to killing Bevan.
Yes.
Now, what would you say, would it be only Dina or other people as well?
The way I interpreted it is, I just want to go back a while to when they arrived at the premises. One of the first things they said is, we're going to kill him. We're not here to arrest him. So the way I saw it from my inquiries, there's a small clique in that unit that knows what's going on. The majority of those policemen that work with him, in my opinion, doesn't know what's going on. So to me, it was Dina, Seven, and Nika, because they were very aggressive, and the ones that kept harping on, we had to kill him, we're not going to arrest him. And especially when they focused on when their friend Alan was shot in the head by Bevan. So I had no doubt in my mind that they were going to do it, having also done some background inquiries on them. So I was convinced that they were intending killing Bevan. There was an instance where, at the premises, where one officer, Nika, he was wanting to search the premises. I did not see the policeman called Pedro Rodriguez arrive. He didn't arrive with him. But being handcuffed, when we came out of the house, and went to the side of the house. One of the Nike of the dog unit actually said, Pedro Rodriguez was there, and he went under. We've got a wooden floor, so we've got an elevated floor, we've got a space, crawl space under the house. He asked Captain Rodriguez to go under the house and check, and he said, if he's there, shoot him where he lies. So I was like, these guys were really set to kill Bevan. And if he approached the Brighton Beach guy, detective, he would, I can tell you, he wouldn't get joy, because he's had that before, especially Michigan was shot. There was no joy.
So there are three possibilities that I just want to understand. There's the possibility, the main one, which is there was a contract to kill him, but that is irrespective. Then there's the theory or potential theory, which is that, and we'll go to it, they just wanted to kill him, or was this Nika because he shot a friend, or they just wanted to kill him for whatever motive, but unrelated to the hit. Or you then say there's a clique. Are you saying it's the clique? It's just we need to be careful about it. I'm saying that clique was executing a contract.
I do believe that clique was executing contracts.
But interestingly, at page 1170.
Sorry, I had it on the wrong page. Let me just get that. 1169.
Yeah, but let's go to 1170.
1170. Yes.
There's a report there, and it's just for your comment. It says Bevan Loftus, 34, was a tow truck operator with a mean reputation who died with 4 others in what police described as a violent clash on the afternoon of Saturday, 1 April. Would you say the mean reputation allegation, as it were, is also false?
That's false.
Okay.
He didn't have a mean reputation. If I can elaborate?
Yes, yes, sure.
The towing truck in the taxi industry is a very tough environment. So what if he was put in a situation, for example, I'll use what I said earlier, hypothetically. If he got to an accident scene, which he only did when he started his business. When at later stages, he didn't drive, he never driven a tow truck. He wouldn't go to accident scenes. But in the beginning, to establish his business, he didn't drive, but he used to attend accident scenes. So if he got to a scene, for example, and one of the other operators who came after him were trying to take that tow from one of his drivers, he'd step in and dispute that action. When they say tough, I would say that's the kind of tough I would say that it was.
Mr. Loftus, you without in any way commenting on the circumstances of his death and what you say were the threats that were being made, what you say about the cases that were being pursued against him and the allegations, without me commenting on that, it's fair, is it not fair to say that you were not around the clock with your son, as no parent can ever be around the clock with their child? You have also testified, for example, that because he changed his phone so many times, you didn't even know his telephone number at the time that the police were there, that you really are not in a position to categorically deny the description, for example, that he was mean. He may well have been mean out in the streets, and out of respect for you, would never show that to you. But as a parent who's not around the clock with their son, it seems to me that you may not be in a position to say in every case that allegations are made about him and where he's described in these terms. You may not be in a position to say all of that is lies. You have to make room, at least I think, you would have to make room for, well, I didn't live around the clock with him. So I don't know what exactly he got up to, but the son that I know could not be described as a mean person. Is that not,
I agree
would that
with
be
you.
a fair proposition?
Involved in drugs were a cover-up by the police to justify hunting him and ultimately killing him. And now deal with the police harassment in the course of them hunting Bevan.
If I may just pause you there. You say you dispute these allegations. Do you still stand by that version?
Yes, let me just elaborate. When I said dispute these allegations, Bevan's been living at the premises next door to me from 2020, beginning of 2020. I can go on to say that as a father, I'm not with him all the time. I can comment on when I'm with him. I don't know what he does or what he did when he wasn't with me, but in my presence and while he was living at that premises, I did not see any evidence of any of the allegations.
Okay, please proceed.
Okay, the harassment and intimidation by the police began in 2022. But it is important that I set out the context which I believe is important and basis for the harassment. During 2022, both Bevan and myself received information that there was an assassination contract put on Bevan's life in the amount of 2.5 million. I also received information from a policeman I know that the hit on my son, Bevan, was genuine. The word was that I should be careful because if they cannot kill Bevan, they would kill my son, Nicholas, or myself. My son, Nicholas, was a ball taxi operator and had to cease operating because of the threat on his life and subsequently lost his income and the vehicle. Bevan and I were informed that Clive Nyker put up the 2.5 million contract to kill Bevan. On 23rd of January 2023, Bevan called Nyker, Clive, and confronted him in this regard. I have submitted a recording of that call to the Commission. A transcript of that call is attached as GL2.
So before you proceed, can we then turn to GL2, which should be page 110?